in today's lesson, Katie wasn't in, she wasn't well, so Cindy was taking over our lesson. So we didn't really focus too much on a recap, but we still put down some notes and our progression so far within rehearse and pronoun. So these are the questions that we answered. The first question is, what are the strengths of the play so far? So I think the strength so far is that we've actually got up to scene 17. So it's really good. We go on half term for a week next week, and then we can come back and that's all about rehearsals, and then we can just rehearse all the scenes and make it perfected. And then we can start blocking scene 18, which is only small, and it's like a crucial scene, obviously, because it's the last scene and that's how the story ends. But I think that so far we're just working at a good speed. We're finally getting to the end of it, and it's not even took that long to do it. It took about 2 weeks to go over that many scenes. I think we're doing very well for time, and we're just doing very well and reacting off each other a lot. We have also identified transitions are coming on and off the stage, so we know it gets a bit confusing sometimes because we're in the round and we've not performed in the round before, but we all identified where the audience is sitting and where it's at on and off exits. So the doors that we come into the theatre, that is one exit. Where the stage and performance areas, that's an exit. Where the fire door is an exit, and then where the seats after the theatre, that's not an exit. We can't get out there. So we have 3 main exits that come in on and off the stage, and then the audience are like diagonal to them. What are the areas of development so far? I think we need to learn lines more. There is some scenes that we don't all know our lines, which is okay because our deadline is the 1st of June, so we've got a week yet to go over them, and there's some holidays and learn them. And I don't think it'll take that long, to be honest, because we are doing quite well on getting everything done. So yeah, I think once we learn the line, it'll be better, because we've got a lot of pacing problems, and some scenes it kind of drags on, or we're dead speedy with it. So now we need to learn lines, so then the pace is better, and then I think overall we'd feel a lot much better about the play. What are your personal targets to show the progress? What are your personal targets? So mine is to show a progress of my character. So you can see that transition with the whole 18 months, because the play is set over 18 months, and as human beings we do change throughout time. So if you show how you were in a year and you look back to it now and you go, oh, I have changed. So you had to think about, okay, your character's always changing. Even though it's not real, they are still a human being. You've got to think of it as in that is the real world. You're in that imaginative world. So you've got to show the progression of your character. Okay, so after that, we recapped our previous scenes after that. So before dinner, we got up to scene 8. Scene 8 is the key priority for us. It's very, very physical. This is the doctor's scene where Dean goes to the doctors and they're telling him how the surgery is going to go, and then they tell him that it's going to take a long time for him to get the surgery. It takes him 2 years on the waiting list to have the surgery. And then throughout that scene, they tell him all these different routines that he's got to go through. James Dean's there as well, and he's telling him that he needs how he acts as a boy, how he should the way that he sits in the chair, how he should lean, how he should talk and make his voice more lower, and how he should take his tea. And then the doctors come in and they tell him all the side effects to the surgery and to the tea. And so then throughout the play they just keep saying all these different routines and all these different obstacles that Dean has to overcome, and then it's like a workout, and that shows the progression over the 18 months, because it's getting faster and faster, but yet Dean's, even though he looks like he's getting out of breath, he's getting used to it, and that shows that over the couple of months he's getting used to this ritual and this routine of becoming a boy. So after so on scene 9 you can see him becoming more of a boy, and then also in the next couple of scenes as well. Scene 8 is a crucial as well, because that's where they come in with the doctor and they tell him, okay, you can have the surgery whenever it is, and then you have to pay this amount of money. And then it comes very real. So if you do get a private doctor, this is how much it's going to cost. Yeah, so it's very, the way that scene is, it's very, there's a lot of big words in there that we all have to research at first and have an understanding of what they all meant, because they are like a mouthful to say, and it's very like words that doctors use every day that we're not used to. Yeah, so it was just getting used to it. It is a hard scene, and it's hard for Beth to do as well. It's very physical, but I feel because we've only done it once now, once or twice, once we get used to it, and once Beth gets used to it, and everyone learns the lines, that scene will get better. After dinner, we went through the other half. That's getting a lot better as well. With my scene in scene 13, we just spot places around to make sure that everyone can see us. So at the beginning, I was next to Beth, and then I've changed it around. I wanted to take risks within this rehearsal. I feel like in this scene, my objective is to interrogate, and like investigate Dean to find out why he's not been in contact with everyone else. So I've done this by I wanted to use it with my facials and body gestures. So I wanted to like circle Dean sometimes, and the way that I would say it was like interrogating, and it's a bit comedic as well. I can think Amy is quite a comedic character to watch. So I would think about how you would see it on like a TV show or a film, and it's quite funny really, in the way that they do it. So it's like, who you've been hanging out with, and it's like you're giving him like the side look and I don't believe it kind of thing, and then how you would circle them as well. I feel like after we did the other half, we performed the whole thing to Cindy afterwards. She feels like the scene's getting like the whole play is getting a lot better. We're taking more risks within the lessons. She saw because she saw it on a Wednesday as well and saw different scenes. She can see that we changed it a bit and that we're taking more risks. She feels like it's getting a lot better now that we're taking more risks, and also we're having more fun with taking risks as well, and trying out different things, and how we use our voice, how we use our bodies, different gestures. I feel now we still have problem with pacing, so we need to work on that when we come back. And also how I think we're doing a rehearsal during the holiday as well, and I think doing that will help. I think my strength in today's lesson will be I'm starting to experiment more and taking more risks in the lessons. This is just trying to figure out like using different symmetries. By doing duologues with Emily's last term, and doing how proximities like helps with showing relationships, I'm starting to consider that more and consider about my other learning in other lessons and how I can use them in pronoun. My weakness would be the relationship with Laura. It's still not fully there. But I feel like this scene's getting better now because we're considering more about props. So now we just need to work together a lot more and get scene 4 tidy.